Results conference call of Ghcl Limited, hosted by Emkay Global Financial Services. As a reminder, all participants' lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions at the end of today's presentation. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star, then 0 on your touch-tone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Amit Vora from Emkay Global Financial Services. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us on Ghcl's Q2 FY25 results conference call. I would like to welcome the management and thank them for giving us this opportunity to host them. We have with us today Mr. R.S. Jalan, Managing Director, and Mr. Raman Chopra, CFO and Executive Director of Finance. Before we begin this call, I would like to point out that some statements made in this call may be forward-looking, and a disclaimer to this effect has been included in the earnings presentation shared with you earlier. I shall now hand over the call to the management for their opening remarks. Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Amit. Thank you very much. Welcome to Ghcl's earnings conference call for the second quarter of FY25. Our results and presentations are available on the stock exchange. I am joined today by Raman, Executive Director and CFO, and Manu Jain from the Finance and Investor Relations. In the near term, we expect the current operating environment to persist, with pricing likely to remain range-bound due to the ongoing global industry challenges. We are watchful on the current geopolitical uncertainties, which may potentially have adverse impact on the demand and pricing worldwide. At the same time, China has recently announced economic stimulus aimed at revitalizing the real estate sector, along with the US and Europe reducing interest rates, which could revive economic activity and offer stability to the soda ash market. In India, recent discussions with the Planning Commission and NITI Aayog have raised considerations around study of FGD, flue gas desulfurization, at existing thermal plants and forcing new installations. If implemented, this could impact the high demand growth for sodium bicarbonate from this segment. Looking ahead, our new project initiatives remain on track, with contributions from our vacuum salt and bromine projects expected in the next fiscal year. Beyond FY26, we are actively pursuing growth initiatives, including 2 phases of greenfield soda ash facility with a capacity of 5.5 lakh tons each, and the development of Jara Jumara land parcel in Kutch to benefit from salt and bromine operations. So, these dynamic market conditions, our Q2 results continue to demonstrate resilience, maintaining robust operational performance. While planned maintenance temporarily impacted volumes, our continuous focus on efficiency helped us reduce the input costs. We have been consistent with our performance on the back of consistent and best-in-class operations. We are confident that Ghcl is well positioned for the future, and as the industry and economic activities picks up, our performance shall further improve. Thanks for your continued support and confidence in Ghcl. In this festive season, we extend our warmest wishes for a celebration filled with light, prosperity, and joy. I will now invite Raman to provide further details on our financial performance.
Thank you, sir. Very warm welcome to our earnings call for the second quarter ended 30th September 2024. As you are aware, there is a constant focus on operating excellence by the company, driving better utilization and cost control. This is visible in the profitability of the business, despite challenges faced by the chemical industry and the soda ash market dynamics. Revenue for the quarter came in at 810 crore compared to 817 crore in the corresponding quarter of last year, and 849 crore compared to Q1 of this year. As communicated earlier, we advanced our plant maintenance activities to September from October, resulting in temporary volume loss in this quarter. This resulted in lower revenue compared to the previous quarter. However, going forward, we'll have a normal volume for H2 of this year. Also, despite the challenging market condition and higher imports, our realization remained similar compared to Q1 of this year. In Q2 of last year and 235 crore in Q1 of current year. On year-to-year basis, this is an increase of 2% due to lower cost, while on Q-on-Q basis, this is a drop around 3% due to maintenance activities. As a result, EBITDA margin for the quarter increased to 28.2% compared to 27.5% in Q2 of FY24 and 27.7% in Q1 of FY25. PAT from the continuing operations stood at 155 crore compared to 143 crore in Q2 of last year and 151 crore in Q1 of FY25. For the half year, we generated 389 crore in cash profit after tax. We spent around 172 crore on capex on growth, 142 crores on the repayment of loan, while working capital was released by 82 crore rupees. Also, 114 crore rupees has been paid to the shareholders as dividend. We are a debt-free company, and our gross debt was around 156 crore, whereas we had net cash surplus around 861 crore at the end of the quarter. With this, I conclude my comments and wish everyone a very prosperous festive season. I would now request the moderator to open the forum for question and answers. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to withdraw yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handset while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Aditya Khetan from SMIFS Institutional Equities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, sir, for the opportunity. So my first question is onto the soda ash. Sir, any idea onto the cycle in terms of the per ton spread? So where we are standing today, are we at the mid cycle or at the bottom cycle? And what are the triggers like which can help us the spreads to move upwards? And while we are on that journey on improving the spreads, how can the Chinese consumption weakness into the soda ash market, can that impact the Indian market also? Your thoughts on the same one.
See, Aditya, at this point of the time, it is very difficult, as you know, that the geopolitical situations are so uncertain. Things are changing very differently. But as in the past, if I go on the basis of the past experience, what we have, I think broadly I would say that we are on the bottom of the cycle, based on the data or based on the past experience. And any volatility into the global market, yes, definitely that will have an impact on the company. But the company's focus has always been to be the best in class, to operate the best efficiency and focus on the cost and the best performance even to the customer serviceability also. So we continue with that, and you have seen that in this difficult market of entire chemical, we have been performing consistently on a best in class kind of a situation.
Got it. So my second question is onto the bromine part, that is onto the newer businesses. Sir, what would be our existing salt capacity into our existing salt parcels which we are having? And the new land parcel which we have acquired, how much salt capacity we would be expanding over there?
Yeah, currently we have almost around 800,000 to a million ton kind of a capacity. And once we go with the new land which has been acquired, it can go almost around 3 million put together. That means extra 2 million tons can be produced out of the new land parcel which we have got. Along with that, on the current location on the salt field, we have approximately around 2,800 tons of the bromine project which is under implementation. And likely our understanding is 10 to 12,000 will be the bromine new capacity which will get added into the new location.
Got it. Sir, you mentioned the existing salt line parcel we are having is 8 lakh tons of capacity of salt, right?
Yeah, 8 to 10 lakhs in a day.
8 to 10 lakhs. Okay. And sir, with this expansion of 20 lakh ton, are we confident so we could be completely using that salt for captive, because we are increasing by almost around into the soda ash also. So that completely will be used captive, or we would be selling outside also?
No, we will be using completely for captive. Because in the current location itself, we require another, I would say, 1 million in a way. 1 million extra demand consumption is required in the existing location. Plus the new location also, even if the phase 1 itself will require 1 million tons of salt. So put together both 2 million extra production will be required. When we go for a 1.1 million ton in the new location, then probably the additional 500,000 ton of the production of soda ash, we will have to source the salt from outside.
Got it. Sir, any idea from the from these newer businesses, how much additional EBITDA we can contribute from this bromine business?
See, at this point of the time, it will be difficult to give you the numbers overall. But as you have seen that the bromine business has a competition. See, our target is, Aditi, is basically to look at how do we become a kind of a significant player in the bromine business and bromine derivative business. Right. And for that, after this both the plants being put together, we will be having around 15,000 tons kind of a production. Probably, I think we will be 4th or 5th largest bromine producers into the country. And we are not going to stop only at the bromine. We are very actively working on bromine derivatives. Of course, the plans are still under discussions. So I will not be able to give you a clarity of which segment of the bromine we are going, but a lot of studies are going on. And based on that, we will be going for the bromine derivative projects.
Got it. Sir, just one last question. Sir, this new salt line parcels which we have acquired, when are we planning to start the commercial production of bromine?
See, broadly, it will take around 3 years of time from now.
3 years time from now. Okay. And sir, what would be the maximum potential or the maximum capacity we can expand into that location, considering that 6,500 hectares which we have got? What would be the peak capacity wherein we can expand without any, you can say, significant capex?
I think the capacity which I have mentioned to you is approximately around 2 million tons of the salt, and bromine is around 10 to 12,000 tons. That's the peak capacity I have told you.
Okay. So this we are expanding, sir. So if suppose in future also if we want to expand onto that, so how much part of that reserve would be utilized for this? That 6,500 hectare which we have acquired.
So like I said, this 6,500 of the entire hectares, of which is 16,000 acres of land, will be completely developed and completely fully utilized for the purpose of bromine as well as the salt.
Okay, so fully we can, okay. So peak capacity would be, so 16,000 tons only from that. Okay, got it.
Correct.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. That's it from.
Thank you, Aditi.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. The next question is from the line of Ghcl from Swan Investments. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Thanks for this opportunity. So, sir, would you be able to quantify the amount of volume lost due to our shutdown in this quarter?
I think we have already communicated around 14,000 tons, but I think broadly we have lost around 7,000 to 8,000 tons of the volume.
Okay. So what was our blended EBITDA per ton for this quarter, and what could be the sustainable levels going forward, please?
I think, yes, if you look at the sustainable level is the number that which I have said in my opening remarks also. So it's in the same range. And see, again, it all depends on the market dynamics, and our focus will always be the best in class, and our always focus will be more on how to optimize the cost, which we have been demonstrating for a consistent period of long periods. We'll continue to do that.
Okay. And so, with the continuing capex going on around the world in soda ash, are we seeing any delay in capex anywhere, or most of them are on track globally?
See, so far as the China capacity is already coming. Okay. Now the US capacity, definitely the new capacity of a 5 million tons At this point of time, we don't have a clarity, but our understanding is this should get some delay.
Okay, sir. Wishing you and your team a very happy Diwali and prosperous New Year, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. The next question is from the line of Saket Kapoor from Kapoor and Company. Please go ahead.
Yeah, Namaskar Jalanji, Namaskar सभी सदस्यों को. Sir, firstly on the FGD issue, sir, if you could just elaborate the same. What is the current status of the procurement of sodium bicarbonate for the existing capacity, and if you could just throw some more light where what does the observation or from the nodal agency is all about?
See, Saketji, if you look at the NITI Aayog has recently come out with a paper which they are in the process of recommending to the government that the current, and this is what our understanding, the current FGD plant which has already been installed should be studied further and should be observed that whether the kind of a benefit which we are talking about in the flue gas treatment are we going to really get a benefit of that into the complete environment? Because of this, there is a cost escalation into the power cost. So they are in a kind of a recommendation mode to the government that we should, for the time being, we should install the future expansion or the future addition of the flue gas treatment to the new plant or the existing plant which has not yet been installed the flue gas treatment. So my understanding at this point of time is the current consumption will continue of the FGD. However, the new capacity may get delayed or the new growth into the FGD may get delayed after, and they will be giving a kind of a clearances only after the proper study that will take some time. Till the time this growth into the sodium bicarbonate may kind of not slow down.
Right. And so this FGD phenomenon is a global story, or has this been conceived only domestically for our country?
The FGD has been widely used into the global market. Okay, in the Europe it is very widely used. So, and therefore we are a little surprised also that this kind of a recommendation. But yes, after the proper evaluation, probably they may also come back and then they can revise it.
Right, sir. And sir, second point was about we have been harping on the solar demand, feeding the incremental demand for soda ash. So we hear about a lot of solar capacities coming up in our country, and I think so some duty protection is also there. So what is the pillar for the incremental demand, especially from solar manufacturers, sir, for soda ash? If you could throw some light on the same.
Yes, Saketji, we are very bullish, honestly, on the solar glass new consumption. As you know, that a lot of new capacities are getting built up under the what you call green hydrogen, and obviously that will require the soda ash for the solar glass. We are very optimistic on that, and we are seeing some kind of a sign of consumption getting increased into that.
No, sir. My point was many solar lines are up for this financial year. When we look at your conversation, say 2-3 quarters back or the last fiscal, we were contemplating that lot of new lines would be starting for this financial year. So we are for H1 done for this financial year. So how much have the new lines been, and how have their demand been there in the system? I wanted a color on the same.
See, as you know, Saketji, that in the past, because of the significant I would say import coming from China, solar glass investment which is already coming in, that capacity has not been fully utilized. However, the new lines are also getting added by all the largest groups. Hopefully in the last quarter, January, March, probably you will see a significant amount of new capacity getting added into that.
Okay, right. Sir, one point on the salt part of the story, wherein the new fields which have been allocated to us, it totally would be for the bromine story. But we have been working on the salt yield program also. I think so. We did a capex of closer to 150 or 200 crores. So those benefits are currently being reaped by us for the existing and the new fields which we will be developing. We will be. I mean, how will that factor? What should we factor in terms of the salt field program benefits that goes also for the new fields which we have being allocated?
Secondly, if you look at the current operations, our focus on the cost optimization, one of the components is the salt yield improvement into our salt fields. Okay, and we are getting some advantage out of that, and this journey will continue. That's why if you note my earlier question where I have answered 8 to 10. So currently from 5 to 8 we have reached. Our target is to reach to 10 on the current location. Okay, so that will also, this means this benefit will further enhance from here. The second, in the new salt field, surely as I mentioned to you, we will be completely on this existing location will be completely captive, captive salt availability, and that will have a significant advantage over cost structure.
Last line I missed, sir. That will have a significant advantage to our cost structure. Yes, right, sir. If I may add one more point, sir. When we look at the P&L line item, especially for power, fuel, and water expenses, we find Q on Q there is a 10% saving from 156 crore to 143 crore, and year on year the savings is significant from 169 to 143. So, if you could just explain to us this first half saving of 60 crore, what led to this, and whether this is a permanent saving or what have we factored in this 60 crore saving for the first half?
You see, Sakshi, there are two components of it. One is the efficiency improvement. That's very significant. We have a lot of focus on our energy consumption in every location, every machine. Okay, a lot of work has been done. That is going to be permanent to us, and the journey of that also continues going forward as well. Right? That's number one. Secondly, your market dynamics of the pricing. So the combination of these two will continue to play out into the benefit of this.
So this is a permanent saving, sir. This is not one of any item that we have not booked or this trend we can continue. Yeah. Right, sir. And lastly, sir, for sodium bicarbonate part of the story, sir, there are also pharma grade application for sodium bicarbonate. So if we are seeing a dent in demand, I think so we have doubled our capacity from 60K to 120K for sodium bicarbonate very recently. Are we looking at other avenues wherein we can use our current facility to the optimum use in diversifying the product profile on account of the dents which may happen from the FGD issue?
See, Sakesh, so far as our current capacity of 120 is concerned, we don't have any concern because the current consumption pattern itself indicates that kind of a capacity utilization will happen. Okay. So on that capacity, we don't have any major concern because there are two components. One is FGD, which has already been started, that itself will be sufficient to kind of take care of this capacity, along with the demand, natural demand growth into the normal sectors. Right.
Okay.
So therefore, there is no issue on that. In the current run rate, also it is similar nature.
Okay, but future capex or future incremental capacities will be developed only when we get a clarity on FGD.
Yes.
Okay, and I have a question for Raman sir. Sir, for capital work in progress, sir, if you could give us for the first half, how much have we capitalized since the depreciation has gone up by 10%, and what is pending to be capitalized for this current year? We have closing balance of 105 crore as on 30th September.
Yeah, Sakesh, in fact, there are a lot of work which is currently going on in the existing location. There is a seawater pipeline work, there is a compressor work, Then there is a power backup work which is going on. So depending upon the completion, these things will be capitalized. Overall, for the full year, for the first 6 months, we are closer to spend 172 crore on capex in terms of the cash flow, of which greenfield is around 63 crore and 109 crore is toward the for the current operation. So it depends how much when it will get completed. Our target looks like for the full year as a whole, we are looking at around 200 to 250 crore kind of number.
See, Sakesh, let me add what Raman said. One is this 109 crore which is set primarily on two components. One is your vacuum salt project, bromine project, and the regular capital. So far as your capitalization question is there. So depending on like Raman rightly said, whatever the project has been completed, that has been capitalized, and whatever the work in progress like the bromine and vacuum salt projects are under implementation, that has not been capitalized.
Sir, you mentioned what figure for the greenfield project, sir? How much have we spent on greenfield for this first half?
Roughly around 60 crore.
Okay, and so where have this money been spent?
Sakesh, we can talk on this offline, okay? Because numbers are okay.
Okay, sir. But right, sir. When can we expect, sir, the final nod? I think so. Last 2 quarters we have been anticipating the same. Now the government being formed and I think so system being in place. Where are we, sir, in terms of the final green nod awaiting?
I would say, Sakesh, at this point of time we are on the last leg. It should happen any time now.
Right, sir. Sir, I will join the queue for my follow-up and best of luck to everybody. My remaining point was, or the reciprocal question was, that the EBITDA number have remained more or less now stable in this 225 to 230 bracket, 230 crore for the last 2-3 quarters. So taking into account the global market perception also, the Chinese stimulus, and then the European market imbalance, can we take into account that the systems being in place, we can report this steady set of numbers for H2 also, barring any unforeseen circumstances? Can we work out with that number for H2, sir? Because H2 is generally better in terms of the offtake also, and the market is good, as you mentioned also, with solar demand also for the fourth quarter anticipated. So can we work out with that number, or it is early to say that?
See, two things, Sakesh. First and foremost, I would say that you will appreciate that in this difficult market conditions, the kind of a performance that your company has been able to deliver. Okay, and that is possible in spite of such a depressing market conditions of the soda ash globally. So this has been we have been able to achieve only because of our consistent persuasion on the cost optimization and remain in the best in class. And that we will continue. The journey will continue. Like I said, even our focus for the future of the captive, 100% captive consumption of salt, all those things are online. The second thing which we are doing already is expanding our growth baskets or the product basket also. Bromine derivative, your salt, that means your vacuum salt. So that journey also continues. So far as your third part is concerned, like you very rightly yourself you said, it's a very volatile market. But our endeavor will always be to perform on a consistent basis as we have been performing and remain deliver the best results which is possible.
Correct, sir. And thank you, sir. I will not take more time, but I will join the queue for that international forum that happened, the Soda Ash conference. If you could have given some color on how the global players, what is the thought process for the global community on the same. I join the queue, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. The next question is from the line of Naitik Modi from OHM Portfolio. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. Sir, could you please share the sales volume numbers for the last 2 quarters?
We are not sharing those quantitative numbers, but you can see our revenue numbers where you can see that the revenues are almost on to the same level as compared to the same quarter last year. And you can see that numbers as compared to the last quarter, which is Q1 of 25. We are almost around 5% down.
Okay. And sir, could you give us some sense on what is the demand per megawatt of soda ash demand per megawatt of solar glass?
It's broadly our understanding, as we know, it's roughly around for 1 megawatt is around 15,000 tons per gigawatt.
1 gigawatt is 15,000 tons of, it would require 15,000 tons of soda ash, correct? And what percentage of our sales goes towards the solar glass industry?
At this point of time, it is insignificant. It's not very high. But it's all the way that the new capacities are getting built. So roughly you will see that significant amount of number in next 2-3 years of time.
So here, for this particular industry, we're targeting the domestic market itself, right?
Yeah, for everything we are targeting either the domestic market or if a natural market which is closer by, depending on there. But of course, in the solar we are talking about only domestic market.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Nirav Gandhi from Sunidhi Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. Am I audible?
Yeah. Yes, Nirav.
Yeah. So I would like to understand that what were the realizations during this quarter and what should be the realizations going ahead for the next couple of quarters?
See, first and foremost, Nirav, I have already said that it is very difficult at this point of a time to talk about what is the likely realization in the next few quarters. The market is very volatile. Our focus is more on how do we kind of optimize our cost efficiency. And market dynamics will play out quarter by quarter. But I also said that in terms of our past experience or the past data, probably we are on the bottom of the cycle. And so far as the realization pattern is concerned, it's almost on the same level what it has been in the past, in the last year, first quarter of this year.
Sure. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Saket Kapoor from Kapoor and Company. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Sir, you were mentioning about the resurfacing of the increased import from other continents. So if you could give us some color of how the numbers have been, the import numbers, and which part of the world is facing surplus that is getting exported to our country?
If you look at this quarter, this number has been significantly lower as compared to the same quarter last year. However, it is slightly higher than the first quarter.
Okay. So can you quantify? I think the 1 lakh was the number, which is 1 lakh ton was the number you mentioned last time for the quarter.
Yes, that is in the same range. It is there. Like I said, it's some increase is there in this quarter. So exact number I don't have.
And sir, on the ADD part of the story, where are we, sir, in midst of that is getting implemented, or is any color on the same?
It is under the initial stage of I would call it investigation by the ministry. And once the result will come out, we will definitely report to the shareholders.
Okay, sir, but here, sir, do we see that underpricing or the pricing being lowered, or it is only the quantity? On what premises have we laid down for a request for the same, since the availability of material across the globe is higher because of dent in demand in some parts of the world? So are they selling below cost, or how are they providing an injury to the domestic industry? So that was my.
There is a very defined process strategy on the anti-dumping duty,
Okay.
which has many components. One is your margin, second is your dumping, and they compare that dumping with the other wherever they are selling in other geography also. There are many. It's a very scientific process. So obviously, when we are going for the government, we are going with all these points.
Right. For the last 2 quarters, we have putting our thrust on the increase in product basket, especially for bromine. And today also you mentioned about the bromine derivative as having we would be spending on the same. So what has been our work? Because I think so the product profile and the management bandwidth. What are our preparatory work for entering into this domain? And what kind of capex have we envisaged for the coming 3 to 5 years, especially for being, as you mentioned about the capacity for bromine and its derivative. So what can we anticipate in terms of the capex?
Strategy at this point of a time, like I said, we have a 3-pronged strategy on the overall demand growth into the GSL. One is a soda ash, where we have already kind of defined the kind of a capex which will be planning to invest into the up to 2030, which is almost 6 years from now. So far as the bromine also kind of we have defined that what kind of a bromine volume will get in that, and similarly for the salt production. Last is your vacuum salt. That also we have defined and we have reported to the shareholders that what kind of a capex will be required for the existing vacuum salt and the existing bromine investment which we are doing, which will be completing next year. The balance investment into the bromine on the new salt field and bromine derivative. The figures are yet to be under study. Once we have that number, we will share with you.
Right, sir. And sir, lastly, since we have gone through this process where we have seen the peak and trough for soda ash prices, and as you are alluding to the same for the last 2 quarters, that we are at the bottom, or we have already moved up from the bottom. Prices will remain here because of other factors affecting the volume. So our EBITDA per month, the percentage of 27-28%, which was also which is our historical averages also. Do you think that taking into account the current factors, these numbers, barring any unforeseen circumstances, are stable, and we can look for continuity of the same in terms of the percentage margin?
I think, Saketji, I have said in this call also and earlier also, in my opening remarks also, that our focus is to remain best in the class, to remain focused on to get the best out of the existing environments. Okay? Second point, I have already said that based on, of course, we can't predict what is likely to happen. Because geopolitical situation is so uncertain, we can't predict what will happen. However, I have also said that if you look at the last all experience of and the data which we have seen, we believe these are the kind of on the bottom of the cycle. Anything should be better than what we are currently.
Right. Thank you, sir, for all the answers, sir, and all the best to the team, and should be probably to all the team members. Hope for a very better and a prosperous new summer going ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Saketji. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Miten Lathia from Fractal Capital Investments. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Just want to understand, this supplies to the solar glass manufacturers will be on a spot basis or on a contract basis, both volume and price tied up?
You see, basically, Miten, this will be depending upon the customer by customer. But generally, what happens in the current context, what we are seeing globally, the long-term contracts are getting now is not established. Means basically, because of so much of uncertainty in everything, periodical contracts are possible. Maybe 6 months, maybe 1 year, maybe 3 months kind of a situation. So, and being a large consumption, you can't have a completely 100% spot also. Right. So you can assume that it will be on an average of around 3 to 6 months kind of a situation on an average contracting of the volume and the price will be there.
Understood, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. The next question is from the line of Meet Gada from MK Global. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Jalanji and Ramanji, for the opportunity. Greetings for the Diwali season. Wanted to understand what is the demand outlook for soda ash in Europe and China currently, and given that, what is the export scenario for Turkey and China both?
See, Meet, as you rightly highlighted, that the demand into the Europe is at this point of the time is not improving. And hope our understanding, again, this is very subjective. We don't see, at least for next 2 quarters, there is likely to be a very significant improvement in the demand. But yes, one positive sign is the interest rates are getting softened. Probably that will trigger the demand growth maybe next year. So far as China is concerned, China demand up till now was good. But I have said already in my opening remarks also that slight softness is being seen into the Chinese demand on one side, in the solar side. However, on the other side, as I mentioned, that stimulus which has been given into the China may trigger a kind of a recovery into the real estate. Probably that can lead to the kind of again reviving the complete demand. Keeping all these two into account, and like I said, based on the experience, probably the kind of a situation should continue the similar kind of a situation which is continuing at this point.
Understood. Also, can you throw some light on the freight cost from China to India and Turkey to India in terms of land cost and seaborne cost?
See, so far as the China and Turkey costs are concerned, these has softened. Now it is not as high it was earlier. It has come to the normal level, right? Roughly from China it's around $40 to $50, and Turkey is also in the same range, $40 to $50 kind of a situation.
Noted. So over the period, like what I've understood, the EBITDA per ton of soda ash has improved from 6 to 8% roughly over 10 years. So going forward, what will be the key triggers for improvement in this EBITDA per ton, and will it improve subsequently?
Yes, Meet, as you rightly said, if you look at the last 15-20 years of the data of soda ash EBITDA per ton, you will see around 8 to 9%, 8% if my memory is correct, 8% growth has been seen. Periodical, and this is kind of on an average basis, right, on a CAGR basis, okay. But periodical dips may happen, which is happening right now, okay. Our belief is a similar situation should continue longer term, and trigger point is basically a demand recovery of the Europe and the demand recovery into the US market, US and the South, South American markets.
Okay, noted. That's it from my side. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll take this as the last question. I now hand over the conference to the management for closing comments.
Thank you everyone. And like I have always been saying, our focus will always be to the best in class, to perform on all the parameters of efficiency and cost, and to deliver on the best performance results into the industry segment. That focus will continue, and I'm sure that the moment the recovery into the industrial demand of the soda ash, this benefit of this work which we are doing will signify the value creation for the shareholders. Thank you very much, and happy Diwali and to all of you.
Thank you. On behalf of MK Global Financial Services, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines. Thank you.